pushing the foot on the gas, puff, puff, pass, pushing the foot on the gas, puff, puff, pass, pushing the foot on the gas.
Let's get this article out the way. We're going to talk about DeSantis. All right. We're going to talk about DeSantis and how he signed a bill to end lifelong alimony. So let's go up. Florida Governor DeSantis signs bill ending permanent alimony in Florida, which is very interesting. And I think there's actually a video to accompany this. Let me see if I can pull it up. Which you never thought I would see that coming. That's a big deal for men right now. That's a huge deal for men. You don't even know, and it don't even sound like a lot, but you don't even know how much of a huge deal for men it is that he did this. Okay, I think it's advertising.
Persistence and triumph when we go person to person.
Let's see if we can get this video up.
Tonight, Governor DeSantis signed a bill that overhauls the state's alimony laws. SB 1416 includes doing away with permanent alimony. The bill will also set a process for ex-spouses who make alimony payments to seek modifications to alimony agreements when they retire.
So that sort of just summed it up right there. Let's read the article. Governor Ron DeSantis on Friday signed a measure that will overhaul states' alimony laws after 3 vetoes of similar bills and a decade of emotional clashes over the issue.
And today's Money Watch business analyst Jill Schlesinger is here to help.
How do you even begin?
Pause this. The measure, SB 1416, includes doing away with what is known as permanent alimony, which is a crazy concept in itself. DeSantis' approval came a year after he mixed a similar bill that sought to eliminate permanent alimony and set up a formula for alimony amounts based on length of marriage. Oh. The approval drew an outcry from members of the First Wives Advocacy Group, of course. First Wives Advocacy Group, a coalition of mostly older women who receive permanent alimony and who assert that it allows to be upended without the payments. Of course they will, because they still expect their husband, they still expect to be paid for a non-existent work they did. Cleaning the house, taking care of the children, what you're supposed to do no matter what. And they thought that, oh, we're going to get this, we're going to live the high life, we're going to live luxury because they're getting off the alimony, they're getting alimony payments, which I always think is dumb, that you have to pay your wife after she decides to leave. But these modern women, when they take trips and do that, this is where they get the whole idea of that women out earn men. Men have to pay alimony. We have to pay child support. When do women have to do that? Of course they're going to out earn us. Of course they're going to have more money than us and do more things. They're using our money for it. Come on, man. On behalf of thousands of women who our group represents, we are very disappointed in the governor's decision to sign the alimony reform bill. We believe by signing it, he has put older women in a situation which will cause financial devastation. Y'all can get jobs. The so-called Party of Five Women has just contributed to the erosion of the institution of marriage in Florida. What? Do you not? Oh my gosh, these modern women are hilarious. This is the funny part. They talking about he's eroding the institution of marriage, but do you not realize that divorce literally erodes the institution of marriage? How does divorce and expecting a man to pay for the rest of his life part of marriage? How is that? When you decide to leave and then he has to pay for what? He barely got to sleep with you. He didn't get you on your good days. You kept nagging him this whole time, but he expected to pay because of I cooked and cleaned for a few years. And what's so funny is they talking about the institution of marriage, and these women don't even care about the institution of marriage. If you did, you wouldn't be divorcing your man, and you wouldn't be mad about this. Y'all be happy about this because more men might decide to get married. 60 Boca Raton woman who founded the group a decade ago told the news in a text message Friday, the years-long effort to do away with permanent alimony has been a highly contentious issue. It elicited tearful testimony from members of the First Wife group, but it also spurred impassioned pleas from ex-spouses who said they had been forced to work long past the age they wanted to retire because they're on the hook for alimony payments. Exactly. And this is what these quote-unquote first wives don't even think about. The man has to long past work his retirement because he's paying lifelong alimony. There's men that are homeless because they can't pay alimony. Men in jail, prison, because they can't pay alimony. But nobody cares about that. Nobody cares about the length the man has to go through. The man has to go through hoops and hurdles just to pay an extra bill for a woman who decided, she wanted to leave a relationship. This is why men are not getting married anymore. And I think they did this because they want to entice men to get married. Why would a man want to get married when they know? It's not even a think, it's a no for sure. Modern women cannot stay in relationships. They're terrible in relationships. Why would they want to get married when they know that their wife is going to one day be like, I don't love you anymore, I'm going to leave? What? That don't make no sense. Why would a man do that and waste his money? And then when she leaves, you have to pay lifelong alimony? All right. Michael Butler, chairman of Florida Family Fairness, a group that has pushed for doing away with permanent alimony, praised the approval of the bill. Florida Family Fairness is pleased that the Florida legislature and Governor DeSantis has passed a bill that ends permanent alimony and codifies the statute the right to retire for existing alimony payers. Baylor said in a statement. Anything that adds clarity and ends permanent alimony is a win for Florida families. And I agree with him. I definitely agree it's a win because this might entice men to get married more. The penalty is not as harsh. Now, it's still stupid to get married in 2023. And you still have to pay alimony. They talk about depending on the length of the marriage, but it's not lifelong alimony. A win's a win. I guess a win is a win. I guess we're going to take it that way. Salute, Zone. How you doing, brother? Appreciate you stopping by. Shout out to Zone TV. Hold on a second. Yeah, my Streamlabs have been lagging. I'm gonna have to look for a different way to stream. All right. Let's finish this up. Along with DeSantis' veto of the 2022 version, Governor Rick Scott twice vetoed similar bills. Oh, so DeSantis vetoed it first. Huh, that's interesting. I didn't know that. The issue spurred a near fracas outside Scott's office in 2016. This year, however, the proposal received relatively little public pushback and got blessing of Florida Family Fairness and the Florida Bar's family law section, which fiercely clashed over the issue in the past. And I wonder why that is. That is. Maybe, I don't know, maybe the red pill has something to do with it. Maybe they see the statistics. Again, I mentioned maybe because men are getting married less and less, The state ain't getting no money. This state ain't getting no money. So they want to entice men to get married more, which it's still not going to entice men to get married like that. But it's not going to be much of a penalty for guys who are married, I guess. Along with eliminating permanent alimony, the measure will set up a process for ex-spouses who make alimony payments to seek modifications to alimony agreements when they want to retire. It will allow judges to reduce or terminate alimony, support, or maintenance payments after considering a number of factors such as the age and health of the person who makes payments, the customary retirement age of that person's occupation, the economic impact a reduction in alimony would have on the receipt of the payments, and the motivation for retirement and the likelihood of returning to work for the person making the payments. So, which is pretty good. They can adjust the payments on different factors, but it seems like this only would work for older age when you're about to retire. Like when you're in the 30s, 40s, you're getting divorced, you're probably going to be paying alimony till you hit the retirement age, I guess. Supporters said it will codify into law a court decision in 1992 divorce case that judges use as a guidepost when making decisions about retirement. But as with previous versions, opponents remain concerned that the bill will apply to existing permanent alimony agreements, which many ex-spouses accept in exchange for giving up other assets as part of divorce settlements. It probably might. Because again, a lot of men, older men, are dealing with problems paying lifelong alimony. I guess this is why this bill came into fruition. A lot of older men are dealing with paying lifelong alimony and then being hurt. They barely have any money to do anything to get back into the economy. On top of that, these modern women, they don't use this alimony for anything important. They use it for themselves, for them being selfish, to go around being 304s, get back on the cock carousel, take these trips, do all this other stuff. And then they want to get mad when their lifestyle's uprooted. Their husband still pays for that lifestyle. These modern women are not independent. But now it's time for them, these older women, to be independent as they claim to be. DeSantis, has just impoverished all the older women of Florida, and I know at least 3,000 women across the state of Florida are switching to Democrat, and we will campaign against them all the way forever. Camille Feverish, a militant Republican who receives permanent alimony, said in a phone interview Friday. And this is how it makes sense. If these women, these older women, they were divorced their husbands, they're not loyal to their husbands. Why would they be loyal to the Republican Party? Why would they be loyal to the Republican Party when it doesn't benefit them? They run away when it doesn't, and then they fight against it when it doesn't benefit them. She is receiving money from a man who she claims to be independent from. She does her own thing, trying independent, but the seed money she used for her business is from her ex-husband. Now that her lifestyle is being uprooted and she has to work and actually has more responsibility on her shoulders, now she want to get mad. Now she want to get mad and be like, oh, we're going to fight against them. Instead of, I don't know, taking that responsibility. They say they strong and independent. They better than men. They do men. They do. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, cool. You don't need the government's protection. You don't need lifelong alimony. And it's not even that they don't get alimony at all. It's just they don't get it lifetime. Like it stops at a certain age. In vetoing the 2022 version, DeSantis pointed to concerns about the bill allowing ex-spouses to have existing alimony agreements amended. In June 24, 2022 veto letter, he wrote that if the bill were to become law and given retroactive effect as a legislature intends, it will unconstitutionally impair vested rights under certain pre-existing marital settlement agreements. But bill sponsor Joe Gerters, Republican Sarasota, tried to assure lawmakers that the 2023 version would not unconstitutionally affect existing alimony settlements. So they're not even. So what they're saying is this bill is not even going to affect existing settlements. I guess it's not going to change the existing laws depending on certain factors. it's going to affect ones that happen in 2023 and beyond. But you see, these modern women are mad when they don't get free money. When they don't get free money, they want to get mad. They want to get mad when they actually have to do work. Now they want to get mad and say, "Oh, we shouldn't have to do this because we're women, we're in a marriage." But the man's doing extra work. The man was first of all, the man was providing when y'all were married. Now he's providing after y'all are married. So it's so funny they said men don't provide, and they literally provide for women after they get, even after divorce. But now they're changing all that. So we're definitely going to stop. They're going to stop this. So what can this year's proposal went to what is currently case law, Gertis told a Senate committee in April, pointing to the court ruling. So what you can do right now under case law, we now codify all those laws and make that the rule of law. So we basically just solidify that. So from a retroactively standpoint, no, because if anything could be modifiable before, it's still modifiable. If it's a non-modifiable agreement, you still can't modify that agreement, he said, which makes sense. I guess that makes sense. The bill, which will take effect Saturday. Oh, so it's really taking effect this week, or it might have taken effect already, because this is kind of old article. It didn't kind of happen last month. The bill, which will take effect Saturday, also will set a 5-year limit on what is known as rehabilitative alimony. Under the plan, people married for less than 3 years will not be eligible for alimony payments, and those who have been married 20 years or longer will be eligible will receive payments up to 75% for the term of the marriage. Oh, and that's a good point right there, because marriages don't even last 5 years anymore. They barely last. I met this girl. I literally met this when I went to LA for my birthday last month. My birthday was June 19th. I came back and I got this girl from my Uber driver, or not Uber. What's the other joint called? The other one next to Uber. I can't even think what they call it right now. But she was my driver. She picked me up. I was speaking with her. She talking about she just got out of a 1-year marriage with a child. Oh, I think a 2-year-old child. Because the dude she was with, she dated this dude for 10 years. I think the chick is about to be 34, same age as me. Dated this dude for 10 years. She got married for 1 year, now she's getting a divorce. And I bet you this man now has to pay this alimony payments, and he has a child, so he has to pay child support. He has to pay these alimony payments for 1 year of marriage. She couldn't even stand 1 year. So this is good, because if a woman wants to divorce a man after which is less than 5 years, she should not be expected to get any payments at all. And I like this part. And it said those who have been married 20 years or longer will be eligible to receive payments up to 75% of the term of the marriage. So again, they're not doing it for lifelong. If you were married for 20 years or longer, 75% of that you're gonna be paying the money to get out. But I like this part of the law. I like this part of the law right here, because it at least gives incentive for the woman to stay in the marriage for more than 3 years instead of divorcing after a year. How can you be with a man for 10 years and then divorce him after being married for 1? The new law will also allow alimony payers to seek modification if a supportive relationship exists or has existed involving their ex-spouses in the previous year. Critics argued the provision is vague and could apply to temporary roommates who help alimony recipients cover living expenses for short periods of time. Yeah, it should. It should apply to that. Because if the man's paying alimony, why should he be paying? Oh, if you stay in his house or he paying some of the bills or whatnot, not for the goodness of his heart. No, he should be getting compensation from that. He already paying alimony, but then he's helping you out as well. Or y'all might have had a small little fling. No, he should be getting. It should be some modifications. So I like this part of the bill as well. And it's so funny that women want to do whatever they want and don't want to pay the consequences, and they want to pay for the modifications of what they don't like. They don't want to. They want to. They want to say they better than men. They're stronger than men. They make more money than men. Cool, but then they don't want to. But then when it's the reasons, when it's the reasons, they want to talk about it. When it's something they do, when a woman murders a man, they want to say, "Oh, well, this man did this to her. This man did that to her." But when women say, "Oh, we make more money than men," we say, "Oh, it's because y'all get divorced, y'all get alimony payments." Da da da. They're like, "Oh, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. We make more money than men. We do better than men." Oh man! But now that things is getting quote unquote equal. Now they want to get mad. They don't want it. They don't want it to be equal. They still want to. They still want to reign on high and get all the money from the men that they use. Feverish, a 63-year-old with serious medical conditions, says she can't afford another legal fight over alimony. Well, ma'am, you should never divorce. You should never divorce. My fears are that they can take you back to court. I don't have the money for an attorney. I literally live off a little bit I get for alimony. I work part-time because I have all kinds of ailments, and now I'm going to be left without anything, absolutely anything. Imagine how your husband feels. Imagine how your ex-husband feels. Ma'am, you realize how much he had to work in order to pay you alimony so he wouldn't go to prison? At least you're not gonna be left with nothing. If he didn't pay, he might end up in prison for no reason. And this is and you notice how one of the people are mad are women, right? I didn't see no men that was mad with that. I seen DeSantis bring out the bill. He was really thinking, I don't know, might retroactively. But then this year everything changed. Health insurance fees added will probably be the first thing to go if her payments are reduced or eliminated. This is a death sentence for me. Well, boo hoo. Boo hoo. You know, I really don't care, honestly, if she thinks it's a death sentence. Imagine how many men that, because of alimony payments, they had to be homeless. Imagine how many men, because of alimony payments, they weren't able to see their kids. Because of alimony payments, they had to go to prison. Imagine. But again, these modern women don't care because they think about themselves. And the problem is, when they think about themselves, it causes chaos for everyone. It hurts everyone. Men are not getting married anymore. Men are refusing to get married, no matter what reason. It really, honestly, the red pill. If the red pill MGTOW didn't exist, this would still be happening because men see things now. Men are watching and seeing what men are going through. It has been more prevalent for years now that men were been backing away from relationships. Men have been backing away from marriage just because they saw what men went through with divorce and they lost everything. They see a homeless man and they look at homeless men, and most of the homeless men were men that used to be married. These guys used to be married and then divorced and they lost all their money. So let me know what you guys think. If you guys watching the playback, let me know what you guys think in the comment. Would this entice you to get married in Florida? I mean, I'm sure not getting married. I still think it's stupid. But will you get married in Florida because of that? Do you think it will do you think the uptake in marriage will you would think there will be an uptake in marriage?